This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate.
Like Charlie Parsons.
And available on DAZN. Tony, what's happening, geez?
I'm alright, champ, what's going on?
All is good, all is good. Lovely to see you, as always. The energy is always immaculate from Mr. Bellew.
Always got to have energy for DAZN.
Before we talk about, I suppose, everything that's going on today and everything, what's the day in the life for Tony Bellew like at the minute? Happy, enjoying life?
I'm always happy, mate. Busy, happy. Yeah, it's the long days, but listen, when you've got 4 kids, crack on.
Well, tonight is what the British public live for when it comes to big boxing events. We see 96,000 packed inside Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua takes on Daniel Dubois. Really, we're only a matter of probably about 9 hours away. What's your gut feeling?
We're not even that long away. It's a really good fight. I just think everything Daniel Dubois is good at, Josh is a bit better at. A little bit quicker, a little bit stronger, better footwork, better defence. Yeah, Josh is just a bit better in every department, and I think that leads to one conclusion, and that's a knockout, a brutal one inside 4 rounds.
Tony, if I'm honest, this feels like the most respect that Daniel's ever had going into a fight. Over the last 3 years,
and
he's had quitter jibes, stuff like that.
Well, he has quit Parsons. There's no getting around it, and I don't like to say that, and I don't say it lightly. I don't like to say it, but the proof's in the pudding. He has done it twice. He spewed it. But I would like to think he's over that mindset. He showed in moments in the Jarrell Miller fight, and he showed in moments in the Filipegic fight that he's willing to absorb, and he's willing to carry on fighting through the pain and the torture. Really, that's what it is when you're in a boxing ring and it's going one way towards you. It's torture. It's a lonely place, but it's a different kettle of fish against Anthony Joshua. Listen, he took 45 clean right hands against Filipegic. He'll get away with 3 or 4 against Josh. Yeah, and then he'll wake up. That's how it'll be.
If you're someone like Anthony Joshua, and I'll put you in his shoes on that press conference table, he never really likes to get under opponent's skin. If opponent sticks it on him, he'll give it back to them. But when you're fighting someone like Daniel Dubois, who almost like doesn't register what you're saying as such, will he be fazed by the occasion out there tonight? Because it almost feels...
Will who be fazed?
Daniel. It almost just seems... Nah.
Daniel will get in, and see, Daniel seems to me as like a robotic kind of kid. He's just going to get in and see one man.
It's just business.
Yeah, he's just going to get in and just see what... He's tunnel vision. He's just going to get in, and he can only see one outcome. He can only see one person. And I think that's the reasons why he's had them disaster moments in his career when facing the like judges, because he just sees... It's tunnel vision, and when he's getting nailed back against Joe, like he nailed Joe Joyce all over the place for how many rounds, and then he just gassed. He got tired and he had nowhere to run, and the tunnel vision took him down the path of I can't take any more. With someone like Anthony Joshua, he's got tunnel vision. I'm just going to destroy you, and that means, in my opinion, he's just going to walk into everything. He's one of the easiest heavyweights to hit in the world.
Do you believe AJ does it in 6?
I believe he does it in 4.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is it fair to say that we're in this position here with British boxing because of AJ?
Filling stadiums on a regular basis, you mean?
Yeah.
100%.
And the buzz for the sport. We had 100%. The Klitschko era, which was boring.
Yeah.
Respect to them, they were tremendous
Listen,
champions.
they're amazing fighters, amazing champions. Credit to the sport. Carried the sport on the back for a decade. But did they make the sport exciting? Absolutely not, no. Did they drag it? I don't want to say they dragged it down. They didn't. They just carried it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They didn't have that oomph into it.
Yeah, and it took away from British boxing. What Josh done is reignite the game. With that Olympic gold medal in 2012, he literally he takes over. He does positive, he really does, and we all know Carl fought here with 80,000. We obviously know that, but it was a one-off for Carl. It was never to be done again. Anthony Joshua makes this a regular thing, and he doesn't just do it here. He goes to Wembley, he goes to Millennium Stadium, he goes to Tottenham Hotspur's ground, he goes to New York and sells it out in an hour. The kid's just a phenomenon. He really is. He's a global superstar. He's the face of so many brands.
Yeah, mate.
Hugo
even
Boss,
in Wembley,
Under Armour, Lucas.
You see his face, and it's not even to do with a fight.
Mate, the kid's a superstar, and that's testament to how hard he's worked. Because you look at his trajectory and where he started and where he is now, it's unbelievable.
2 more quick ones. Is Dubois a legitimate world champion in your opinion? A lot of people say it banks off the result of tonight.
Has he had an actual fight to win it? Yeah, and no, he hasn't. But I don't know. That's more for out. It depends. I mean, I don't know how you want to look at it. To be given a world title is not the nicest way. You know what I mean? I think he should have just fought for the vacant title tonight, which would have been very fair. Both have been waiting for a long time, but excuse me. I mean, beating Filipovic, who I think should already have a loss on his record, to see DAZN
Against Zhang, yeah.
It kind of doesn't sit right, but it's one of them where I don't know. Let's just get through tonight. I'm sick of the politics in sport.
Well, that was my next question. You've seen politics for fucking longer than anyone in your career. Yeah. It's a bit of a different time now, but it has all kicked off between Eddie, Frank Warren and Ben Shalom. Yeah. What have you made of it all?
Well, first and foremost, boxing's back in the strongest place of all the combat sports. The best are fighting the best. It can now match and rival UFC again. And I say that not from a fan's perspective, not from a money perspective, because we're always going to earn more than the UFC fighters. That's just the way it goes. It's run by one man. It can't be controlled. It can be controlled, sorry. But I'd say in a term of, since His Excellency has got involved, boxing has risen and its stock has rose back to where it was. You have to remember the most famous faces in the world ever, and the most famous face in the world right now, the most famous face ever is Muhammad Ali. He is the most famous face ever. There is not a more famous face than Muhammad Ali. And I would say the most famous face in the world right now, could you see any further than Mike Tyson? As a face. So, and that's just from a boxing perspective. No one will match that. So, what His Excellency has achieved by making the best fight the best is taking boxing back to the top of the chain. And he deserves so much credit. The promoters have come together.
There's still a little bit of a riff-raff.
Listen, there's always going to be a little bit of...
what is it with Eddie, Frank Warren and Ben?
There's always going to be that little bit of competitiveness. Everyone wants to be the best. There can only be one who's the best though. And listen, I might not see eye to eye with everyone, but I can give people the due when it's due, the credit when it's due, and they both deserve credit, to be fair. I think Ben Shalom just does need to start letting his fighters fight the people who need to fight. You know, you've got to stop pulling fights out of purse bids because it doesn't suit your narrative or it's not going on your channel. You've got to stop doing that because you're hating your fighters. You really are. And as for what Queensberry and Matchroom are achieving, they're willing to throw the lads into the dog pit, into the pit.
About time, mate.
It is, but there's a reason for that.
Money talks.
Money talks and bullshit walks, and it's always been the same. So, fair play to them. I give them all the credit in the world, like I said, but this is down to one man, mate, and that's His Excellency. The job he's done. There was a guy many years ago, and how he put the money into boxing, read up on him. He embezzled banks, and he went up against Bob Arum and Don King, and he was beating them, but his money was illegal and illegitimate. And just read, there's a book about him. Just put bank embezzlement and boxing, you'll find out who I'm talking about. I read this book, and Turkey Al Sheikh's doing it legally, and he's now actually got them working for him. Fair play.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Fair play.
I said to Eddie, I've never seen anyone be able to show you up like Turkey does in them little videos.
It's just, listen, the one thing about Eddie is, and no one can ever get away from this, Eddie's honest and he's straight. And there's not a person who's fought under the Matchroom banner who hasn't been paid. I'm not speaking, that's not my opinion, that's a fact. That's just a fact. Eddie Hearn is the most honest businessman in boxing. Because what he tells you getting paid, you get paid. And do you know what? He's the only person who allows these fights to see the ownership model. Lets a fighter see what he's truly worth. So I'll stand on Eddie and I'll stand on Matchroom, and I'll do that till the day I die. And I do that because of what they stand for and what they do. I can't say the same for everyone else, but I can say that for them. Because I've been there, I've experienced it, I've been at the top of the food chain, I've been part of the ownership model, and I've seen what comes in. So
you felt like you've been hustled and sort of.
Yes, mate, and I've also been at top of the bill and not being able to see things, what I'm generating and what I'm bringing in, and being had the pants off me. So It is what it is, mate. But it's an amazing event. Everyone deserves credit for what they've done. Riyadh season is in full flow, mate. Well done to everyone who's involved.
Eddie and Frank, is it real?
What do you mean, is it real?
Like authentic? I know it took money to bring them together, but
money can heal an awful lot of things in business, as we've seen. Eddie's a brilliant businessman, mate. Matchroom as a business is just a phenomenal business. It's just printing money, which is fair play to them. You know, Spencer Brown deserves an awful lot of credit as well, because he's basically Kofi Annan in the middle of them. And he's doing a great job. What they've achieved between them all is fantastic. I could have just went silent and not come to things like this, because I'm not benefiting. I'm not getting. I don't receive anything. I'm not on the broadcast. So what I'm saying, and the reason I haven't gone against it like some other well-known fighters have done, or give it all a stick and thrown it down in the bin, I am, because I'm so happy the fighters are getting record paydays. I'm made up the fighters are being paid in huge events, and that's all I really care about.
You know how far we've come.
Yeah, I don't care about your allegiances, and I don't care about your agendas.
He said, she said, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about that shit, and I don't care if he doesn't like me or she doesn't. I don't care. I care about the fighters getting record paydays, making the sport bigger and better, creating a buzz that's here right now. That's what I care about, to be fair. So I just think it's brilliant, mate. I really do. And like I said, His Excellency, I can't speak highly enough of what he's done for my wonderful sport. And I'm an advocate of boxing. This sport's changed my life, helped my life, helped change my kids' lives. I'm very grateful towards it, and I'm so happy it's back at the top of the food chain.
Tony, some man for one man, as always, lovely seeing you, brother. Thank you very much.